Welcome back to Everything Goes podcast with your host T and K. Hopefully I don't get rudely interrupted again by my partner in crime across my desk.
Sorry.
NFL preseason did start. It's currently playing right now. We have a lot to talk about today, so just stay tuned and let that beat hit you nice and softly.
Been lit, boy. Everything goes.
We now return you to regular programming.
All right, the first thing I want to jump into here today, since you are a Dallas fan and I'm not even preparing you for this. Nothing bad at all.
I'm so excited, though, because I'm looking at all these different games that are going on already, and I'm just like, oh, my God, football's here. I'm just excited.
So there's a lot of talk with Dallas Cowboys, obviously, with Zeke sitting out, doesn't want to play until he gets a contract. You have Dak Prescott, who a lot of fans believe is your next franchise quarterback, but he's not getting paid yet. But yet you also have Carson Wentz, who got a huge contract. So, it's kind of like, what are you guys waiting for? Michael Irvin came out recently, and because Jones was talking about Dak's leadership skills and everything. And I want to read this to you, and then I want to hear your view on this. So Michael Irvin said, people don't really appreciate the charisma as a talent and gift. It's got to be the greatest talent in this business we don't count. This is why Tom Brady has 6 rings. Rarely do you get heart and soul of the football team at the quarterback position. Dak Prescott has it in him. I tell people, stop being dummies here. It's the ultimate gift a quarterback would have, especially in a world where the quarterbacks is so isolated and put on a pedestal. He later just goes on to talk about like certain players like Aaron Rodgers. He kind of points how Aaron Rodgers is like more of like a points the finger to people, doesn't really take responsibility. And then, it talks about how Tom Brady has all these rings because he's a team player. And do you think, this is what I'm putting you in the spot right now, do you think Dak Prescott is a good leader? He is your next franchise quarterback, does deserve to get paid?
The only thing that Dak has proven is that he is a winning quarterback. He's still not a quarterback, to me, that ranks in the top 5 in the NFL. If you look at his stats, he's probably down towards your second or third tier quarterbacks, and you have professional people that are putting him in this category as well. Unfortunately, the way the markets are going right now, it's not what you do, it's what somebody else does that gets you your next paycheck. And that's why all these guys are doing what they're doing. Somebody got more money than them, so now they want to get more money. And Stephen Jones came out the other day and said that he has 3 very generous offers on the table right now for Dak, for Zeke, and for Amari Cooper. And each one of those contracts puts them in the top 5 in their category as far as pay goes.
I wish that we had Skip Bayless on this podcast with us because he gets so fired up talking about Dak Prescott because he loves Dak Prescott.
Well, Stephen Jones came out the other day, and he came out and he defended himself. Basically, he doesn't want Cowboys fans to think that they're not doing their job. He's like, we're very generous with our offers. He says, and we're always massaging the numbers, but they have to realize we're dividing up a pie, and everyone wants a piece. We have a plan, and we're sticking with it. He said, as far as Zeke goes, Le'Veon Bell was a free agent last year. Mm-hmm. All 32 teams had a chance to offer him money. Somebody offered him money. The Jets did. So that realigned the level of pay for them. Yeah. As for the running back has gone. They offered him right now. He didn't come out and say it, but there's people are saying that he was offered between $13.5 and $14 million. And he is not responding back because he wants to be paid Todd Gurley money. Yeah. And the Rams themselves have come out and even said that deal is a bad deal. That they're looking to get out of that deal.
Yeah, because now he's got knee problems.
Yeah.
He's got arthritis coming back. So my whole view on Dak Prescott, I have notes, obviously, but like it's more like this is also my opinion, but then I have notes to add on to it. I think that Dak Prescott is a really good quarterback. I think that he's on such a big microscopic stage because you think about it, it's the Dallas Cowboys. How many people hate Dallas? You know what I mean? Like, I think if you would take Dak Prescott and you'd put him on, say, any other team, I think that he'd be a top 5 quarterback right now. I think he'd be talked about. But since he's
you're nuts.
But since he's on Dallas, I think that it gets a little bit more crap, thrown his way. So I have some numbers. Dak led the league in fourth quarter comebacks last year. 3 years completion rate is 67.7, which is 15th in the quarterbacks. His completion jumped from 62% last year to 71. Let me talk. It's my turn. It's my turn.
No, you're throwing a stat out there.
I'm not like yelling with you.
No.
I just want to talk. I want to talk.
I know.
I'm
talking back.
We need some buttons, though. This is my turn to talk.
You're going over the stat completion rating, but what is his completion ratings over 10 yards?
Dude,
That's what I want to know.
I have other notes, but you just kind of like cut me off and you don't let me talk.
This is a podcast that we can go back and forth.
What I was going to say is Dak had really bad charisma with Des Bryant. Des Bryant had the best connection with Tony Romo. Throw the ball up, I'm going to catch it. Dak comes in, they don't really have that same connection. Des also gets a little older. As you get older, those balls get a little harder to catch, obviously. But when he got Amari Cooper, his completion percentage went up from 62% to 71%. Also, when they got Cooper, they went 7-1. I personally don't think Dak Prescott is a bad quarterback. I think he easily could be your franchise quarterback.
I don't think he's a bad quarterback. He's a fourth-round quarterback. The problem with Dak Prescott is he will not make those throws that he has to make to be a top-tier quarterback. He waits till receivers get open, and that's what everyone, even on the Dallas organization, is saying. That's why John Kitten is there. He's working.
You can work with
him.
that, though.
He's not throwing guys open.
Yeah.
That's the problem. He's waiting for receivers to get open.
But if you look at how Dak looked in the beginning of the season and then how he looked when he got an elite receiving and trust, you see a lot of hope there. You see a quarterback that can lead a team. I mean, he's got leadership skills in him to begin with.
Well, everyone says he's a great leader, and I don't doubt that for 1 second. My thing with Dak Prescott is for one, he holds the ball. The clock in his head does not work. He holds the ball too long. He led the league in fumbles last year at that position. And he is not a true good pocket quarterback. When he was in college, he was a better quarterback throwing on the run, just like Russell Wilson.
But he does throw on the run. He's got one of the best percentages thrown on the run.
Absolutely. But the problem is last year he was a pocket quarterback. He didn't throw in on the run much last year. He didn't even run much last year.
Now, if you think about it, if that's your only problem is dealing with your clock in your head. I mean, he does have one of the better offensive lines in the game, so maybe he just waits a while. But that's something you could work with.
Yeah, but that line had injuries last year.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. But I heard the rumors that he's already getting along greatly with the new quarterback coach. I heard.
Well, yeah, John Kitna is changing his footwork, is working with him. This year, I mean, Connor Williams last year, he was the size of a tight end. He was 289 pounds playing left guard. This year, he's over 328 pounds. He's actually playing a lot better. The line is intact. The only issue we have right now is Zach Martin has problems with his back, but we got Travis Frederick back, Lael Collins back. Our line is the best it's been since probably the Super Bowl run in the 90s. And we even have good backups, which is really impressive for us.
Now, Dak did lead Dallas to the playoffs 2 out of his 3 years so far, which is a great number to have, obviously.
Well, he's the second highest winning quarterback in the league, one spot below Tom Brady.
Now, obviously, he took 56 sacks last year, which is more than his first 2 seasons combined. But you also have a lot of he even came out and said that he will take the blame for at least half of them. But you also got to admit, too, your offensive line was banged up pretty bad.
Yeah, but
so it's hard to trust those offensive linemen.
You can't hold the ball for 5 or 6 seconds. You have to get rid of it. I mean, look at Tom Brady. Perfect example. Drew Brees. The good quarterbacks. You have to have a great defensive line, and if you get a sack, it's something impressive. Tom Brady, average seconds to get the ball out of his hand is under 3.
Yeah.
And that's good designing by the offensive coordinator. Drew Brees doesn't get sacked much. Those guys have a plan.
Yeah.
Dak Prescott cannot sit in that pocket and wait for receivers to get open. Yeah. He knows the routes. Like John Kitna said, we all have a job. Your job is to throw the ball. Throw it down the field. It's their job to get open.
Yeah, my ultimate thing I'm trying to get out of here is if you look at the way Dak Prescott performed the second half of the season, you give him a good receiver, I think you have a good quarterback with him. What they're trying to compare here is they're trying to compare Dak's leadership skills, late round drafted quarterback. They're almost comparing him to Tom Brady and saying you have Tom Brady who was drafted late. He had a really good coach. He just became a very good player from a late draft pick overall with great leadership skills. And they're saying Dak has these qualities to become a next good quarterback, even win a Super Bowl. But it's just a matter of doing it. Now,
but this is going to be the year because this is his 3rd year. The problem that they're going to have is it's going to be, a new coordinator, which everyone that they've interviewed, they've been saying it's basically the same setup. They have more guys in motion, moving receivers around, but it's basically the same game plan, which is run the ball first. And that's the problem. The Cowboys, they have to learn to throw the ball more. You can't depend on Zeke, especially with a loaded box. Have a 2 tight end set, no receivers. I'm not even a freaking football player, and I know exactly what they're going to do. They're going to run the ball. You got to get more creative. And I think this year is going to be a telling tale. You got a lot of guys that are battling for their jobs for next year.
Now, if I'm Dallas's GM, I am sitting Dak Prescott down right now, and I'm getting a deal done. I'm getting a deal done with him first over Ezekiel. I will actually, my next thing I want to get into involves Zeke. But I'm getting Dak Prescott's contract done, and I'm getting Cooper's contract done because these two combined together is almost like Romo and Dez all over again, but a little bit better because I feel like Cooper's a little faster.
But the problem what's going on with Dak Prescott is his agent is playing hardball. There's rumors coming out that they actually highballed the Cowboys. They're asking for $40 million.
Yeah.
Which they know they're not going to get.
And
they're not going to get the $40 million.
But that's also where I comes in that if I was the GM, I would want to sit one-on-one with Dak. Not like necessarily negotiating a contract, but saying, like, listen, this is the facts here. Like,
Well,
we
that's
want
what
you
they
to be
do.
our franchise quarterback, and you got to be realistic here. Now, do I agree that he should get paid more than Carson Wentz? Absolutely.
No.
And I'm not comparing people saying, like, oh, like, he got paid that much, so he should get paid more. But, like, if Carson Wentz can get that much money, I think Dak deserves a whole lot more. Just the fact, and you know me, I hate the whole thing where players are getting paid so much money. But I think the first 3 years that Dak has had a better season than and I like
But
Carson
see,
Wentz.
The problem is, and this is the problem that stinks with football, if you give him that money, you're done. You're done. Because next year you have Malik Collins, you have Jalen Smith, you have Anthony Brown, you have Byron Jones.
You have a lot of guys.
You have Chidobe Awuzie in 2 years. You have Jordan Lewis in 2 years. You have all these guys that are coming up for contracts, and they want to try to keep everyone together. And that's what they're saying. Look, Dak Prescott is the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. If he takes a deal for $30 million, he's going to make his money because he's going to get endorsement after endorsement after endorsement. Zeke's not.
Yep.
Zeke has too many off-the-field troubles, and that's the problem with Zeke. And, for them to even negotiate with Zeke, he has 2 years left on his deal, plus a franchise tag
And
if
that's
they wanted to.
that's stupid, too. We'll get into that.
But for them to offer him Le'Veon Bell money and him they're not even contacting back because they're looking at it as a slap in the face. That's just wrong. He should be in camp right now doing what he's supposed to do.
He's in camp. He's in camp, isn't he?
Zeke?
No, not Zeke. I'm talking about Dak.
Zeke. No, Dak's not saying nothing. He's doing his job.
Yeah.
Amari Cooper's doing his job. Byron Jones, they asked him today about his deal. It's his last year. He's like, I'm still under contract for this year.
That's
I'm not
how it
worried
should
about
be.
it.
That's exactly how it should
But
be.
Zeke should be with his team. You have
Yes,
2 years left on your deal.
Absolutely.
You signed that rookie contract that your agent got for you.
Yep.
You should be there.
Now,
But what's going to happen is he's going to have to make a decision once the season starts.
Yeah.
Because
He'll lose
he's
money.
going to lose $200,000 a game.
Yeah. To go into that, if Dak was smart, he would almost look at Michael Jordan's situation. How Michael Jordan obviously got paid money, but he didn't go out and ask for a max. He kept players together and they won championships. If I'm in Dak's mind right now, obviously you want to make money, but you have to think about the team. Your team is very good and young right now. You want to keep Cooper. You want to keep your defense. So take a good contract. Don't take a max contract. Take a good contract. Play maybe 4 years when they re-sign everybody, and then maybe after your contract expires, you can get that max.
This year right here is probably the best chance for Dallas to get to the Super Bowl because of the talent that's on their team,
Absolutely.
how healthy they are.
Well, I think if they keep everyone together, the next 5 years will have a chance every year if they keep that defense together.
But they have so many, and I'm not just saying this because I'm a Cowboys fan. They have so many talented pieces that they're not going to be able to keep.
Yep.
That aren't going to make it through the waiver wire to go to the practice squad that are auditioning to go to other teams.
A lot of those defensive guys are going to get
We're
big
in
contracts from
trouble.
other teams.
We're in big trouble because we don't have enough money to sign all these guys. They're saying right now the best two teams in the NFL as far as dealing with contracts and making their team Super Bowl ready, the Philadelphia Eagles and the New England Patriots, the way they do their contracts.
Yeah.
I mean, the Eagles are loaded again. That team is stacked.
That team is stacked. On paper, they're stacked. It's a matter if they play.
And they're saying that Wentz and Deshaun Jackson, they're hitting on their targets. They're like he's happy as hell because he's got his speed guy, and Deshaun Jackson is showing no signs of age or anything.
It's good. Hopefully, he can stay healthy.
Yeah.
Moving on from Dak, I think the next biggest story that I saw is on the field story for Dallas Cowboys has been rookie running back Tony Pollard, and it's not. No one's talking about Zeke. He's a 4th-round pick out of Memphis and has.
They're comparing him to Kamara.
He's got a lot of attention, including Jerry Jones, who said, I quote, if he continues to get better and better and better, which he's got to, I think you're going to see a guy who plays early for the Cowboys. He's even taking first-team reps right now.
But they signed Alfred Morris back. They have Mike Weber, and they have that Chun guy. They are high on these guys. And the key is right now, watch who gets the carries. Right now in first practices, the first-team reps, it's him, and it was Darius Jackson. Now it's mostly him. But Alfred Morris is going to play more than both of them. Pilar, he's more of a receiving running back. But they're comparing him to Kamara and comparing him to Le'Veon Bell.
And this just shows you it's more easy, I feel like, to find another running back. Like if I saw this as a coach, as a GM, as an owner, I wouldn't even be worried about Ezekiel. I would say, let him lose money. If he wants to sign with us, he'll sign with us. But either way, he's got 2 years left on a contract. We'll use one of these other running backs. We'll focus on Amari Cooper and give him the money because Zeke wants to hold out.
Plus, I mean, let's face it. This is a throwing league. You don't need a running back who's going to pound the ball 20 to 30 times a game anymore.
Get a Duke Johnson, someone you could just dump it off to.
You don't even see it. You see multiple running backs playing now at multiple times in the game. Sometimes you're seeing 2 running backs in the game at the same time. Zeke, he's in a losing battle. I mean, the Cowboys offered him a deal. If he was smart, he would just take it.
Yeah, I know. I mean, me and you, we've had this conversation off mic so many times. I mean, the money that they're offering him, it's just like, who wouldn't take that money? And again, it goes back to you want to keep the team together, so why be selfish and just ask? And like, it's a frustrating topic going because everyone wants to talk about it's a hard job and everything.
You see Tom Brady, he got his new contract.
Yeah, it's a great deal.
He put his house on the market. He got a new deal and took the house off the market. Crazy.
Wait, why did he put his house on the market?
Probably just to say, look, I don't care. I'll go. I'll go somewhere else.
What's nice is he only signed a 2-year, $20 million.
Yeah, and you know what? I heard this funny stat the other day. Tom Brady has never won a Super Bowl as a top 5 cap hit. Because when you dump all that money into one player, that hurts the rest of your team.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, these guys can have common sense. Like, if you want to win a Super Bowl, which is everyone, like, obviously you want to make money, but the ultimate goal is to win the Super Bowl. And if you want to win a Super Bowl, you got to share the money.
Yeah.
Not everyone is gonna be able to stay. Like, if you want to keep a team together, you gotta share that money. You gotta give a little to Zeke. Gotta give a little to Cooper. Gotta give a little to whoever's a free agent. You know what I mean?
The last rumor I heard is Zeke is holding out over $1.4 million. That's what he's holding out over, and it's probably guaranteed money. He probably wants more guaranteed money than Gurley.
And that's such a small amount to them.
But the Cowboys, they could really sit back and do nothing. Zeke's under contract for 2 years.
That's what I would do.
There's 2 franchise tags next year, so they can franchise Dak and Amari, and you could just do that.
And it's just like, I would cross my arms. But moving on from the whole Zeke thing, because
one more thing about
they're
saying too. They're saying that if Zeke doesn't come back, a lot of these analysts are saying that Dak Prescott is not a quarterback that can lead the Cowboys to the Super Bowl. I just think it's a joke.
I think Dak can easily lead the Dallas Cowboys to a playoff and a Super Bowl.
I think it's all luck anyway. It's when you
really,
get hot.
It kind of
Who
is.
gets injured? Yeah. When are your injuries? And if you have any kind of a back there, like DeMarco Murray wasn't a real stud. He had how many great years with the Cowboys?
Great line.
And he went to the Eagles. He didn't do nothing. He went to Tennessee. He didn't do nothing. So we have a good line, a real solid line, and I think we can go with multiple running backs back there and be just fine.
Yeah. Last thing I want to talk about with Dallas Cowboys, defensive end Robert Quinn, who was set to undergo surgery for a fractured left hand, suffered in practice this week. Received a 2-game suspension Thursday for a violation of the NFL's policy and performance-enhancing substance.
Yeah, his agent came out and said he failed the test because he's been taking medication for seizures, and they have proof. And the NFL even came out and said they don't feel like he was breaking any rules, but they suspended him anyway.
That makes no sense.
It's crazy. The NFL has to lighten up. They really do.
He tallied 38 tackles, 6.5 sacks, and 2 forced fumbles across 16 appearances for Miami last season. So it's obviously like a big player for you guys that you traded for.
But we have Dorrance Armstrong, who's doing really well on the outside. We have Crawford. We have a bunch of guys. Even Taco Charlton, who no one's been talking about. And just the last 2 days in practice, they have been saying they're high on him. He's been playing really well because he's another one, man. He's a first-round bust, and he has to prove himself. They have a lot of young guys in camp, and I'm telling you, this is by far the best defensive team and offensive team with weapons that the Cowboys have had since the Super Bowl runs. Yeah. But Quinn had surgery today in Dallas, and he has 2 broken bones in his hand, so he probably would have missed 1 or 2 games anyway.
Yeah.
So if they stick with the suspension, I don't know if he's going to appeal it. It's really not going to hurt us anyway. Yeah. The beginning of our schedule is so easy. We should easily be 3-0 going into the Saints game.
Yeah, absolutely. Moving on from the Dallas Cowboys, obviously the preseasons are going on right now. We'll read you off some stats a little bit. But going in before preseason, obviously the biggest news I would say is running back Duke Johnson is now headed to Houston Texans after the team swung a trade with the Cleveland Browns on Thursday.
Which is funny because he's playing in the preseason game for Cleveland right now.
Maybe they're still pending the physical, so he was able to play.
I don't know, man. If I made a trade, I'd be like, look, you're not playing tonight because what if he gets hurt tonight?
I know. Cleveland will receive a 2020 fourth-round pick that can become a third-round pick.
Depending on how many games he plays. And
Yes.
Duke Johnson hasn't missed a game in 3 years.
Yeah, Johnson, who was the number 77 overall pick in the 2015 draft, which is still crazy how he's not a starter somewhere, has spent his entire 4-year NFL career with the Browns. He's listed as a running back, but he's mostly known for his receiving skills. In 4 seasons, the 25-year-old has totaled only 1,286 rushing yards, but he has 2,170 receiving yards. It's a great threat out of the back. I mean, you can run him, too. I mean, just because he's small, he's quick. He's real quick, almost like Ray Rice quick. Great receiving back. And for Houston, what do they have? Just Lamar Miller? Not Lamar Miller. Yeah, is it Lamar Miller, right?
Yeah, and
he's more of a power back now anyway, so if you threw Duke Johnson, that's great.
He's only getting paid $1 million this year. It's a steal. It's a steal for Houston. It really is. I mean, they needed someone like that. Lamar Miller is what he is. He's not a real good back. He's decent, but this gives him another option out of the backfield. It's huge for them. I see Baker Mayfield picked up where he left off, 5 of 6, 77 yards and a touchdown tonight, 158.3 passer rating. Casey Keenum started for Washington. He went 4-9, and now they have Dwayne Haskins in. He's 2 for 4 with an interception already. Washington, they have Dwayne Haskins listed as the third-string quarterback already.
Who's the second string?
They have Casey Keenum, and they have that other guy.
I don't know. I don't remember.
God, what's his name?
But I really want Haskins to play.
McCoy or something like that.
Oh, Colt McCoy.
Colt McCoy is there.
Yeah.
But some of the scores right now, Buffalo. Oh, and how about Andrew Luck? He's injured again, and
what happened?
Something with his calf. They don't even know he's going to play this year. This guy, when he gets hurt, he does it right. He gets hurt.
I know.
He never heals properly. I mean,
and what sucks is when he's healthy, he's great because they predicted him to go to Super Bowl this year.
They're losing. I mean, it's only preseason, but these are the games that matter the most because these are the games where people are playing for a job and for a position on a team. So you're going to get smash mouth football. You got Buffalo beating the Indianapolis 14-3. Baltimore's up 13-0 on Jacksonville, and which is surprising because Lamar Jackson was 4 or 5 with a touchdown, 0 rushing yards.
So I was actually reading an article on Lamar Jackson, and they're saying that he's working with his coach this year, and as they're watching him in his practices and his mini games and his scrimmages, he's not running first. He's actually throwing first, and so he's working a lot with his coach to throw more rather than rush, and that's kind of what I wanted to see because out of college he can throw the ball. He can throw the ball hard, he can throw it well, and he can throw it accurate. But I don't like when a quarterback runs first.
Yeah, but Harbaugh came out and said that they want him running the ball. I mean, he ran the ball more than most running backs last year.
I mean, even Michael Vick said it, man. Like
he's gonna end up getting hurt.
That's what Michael Vick said. Like it's nice to run all, but man, like I took some big hits. I got injured, and you should want to throw first as a quarterback. I mean, you're a quarterback. You're not a receiver. You should want to run. You should want to throw first and run if you have to. And that's what you're starting to see in his practices. He's starting to throw first, and if he has to run, he dominates with it. And that's the next step they need, I believe, to make them a better team. Because he torched defenses last year because they were so used to Joe Flacco just tossing the ball. Last year he came in, he ran to the playoffs.
Well, we have a battle in the battle of the suck against Atlanta and Miami game. We have Fitzpatrick that came out 2 of 5, 20 yards, and then Josh Rosen 3 of 6, 22 yards and a pick.
I got a bad feeling about Josh Rosen.
They're in trouble down there.
I don't know what's going on with Josh Rosen. I really don't. Sam Darnold went 4 or 5 with 1 touchdown. So, I mean, the Jets are off to a good start. I wonder if Le'Veon Bell's going to play today. But
you know what I'm interested? I'm interested in that game later on. They're going to have – well, that's funny. Houston played tonight, too, against Green Bay. I can't wait to see if whatchamacallit plays tonight. Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
If he starts. They're playing the Chargers.
Dallas doesn't play today, do they? Because the Saints don't play today.
No, they play Saturday against the 49ers, and then they go to Hawaii. They have a preseason game in Hawaii.
Oh, wow. Well, Ryan Tannehill played for the Titans also, went 11 for 13 with 105 yards passing and 1 touchdown. That's kind of crazy that he's the backup to Marcus Mariota. You know what I mean?
Dude, Matt Schaub is going off, too. He's for Atlanta. He's 9 of 16.
Dude, he's been in the
126 yards passing. It's like they're leaving him in just for the whole game.
He's been in the league for a long time. Long time. But I don't know.
Chase Daniels came in for the Bears. That's just a boring game.
Yeah, Jones was going to have his debut before the weather suspension, but
You know what I'm looking for? I'm looking for some running backs and some receivers and some steals for fantasy football. And I got my eye on one already. And he had 2 big runs tonight already, so I got my eyes on him.
who?
I ain't telling you.
You just-
I'm the 2-time champion.
I had a lot of people talk to me lately about the fantasy football, and if you think about it, it's tough to draft. I think that the first pick you typically have to go for is running back because there's not many solid one running backs anymore.
See, I don't do
and there's
that.
so many receivers.
I don't do that. I have a whole game plan because the last 2 years I always end up with one of the last picks, and I always complain about it. But
I can't change it. It
it's
shuffles automatically.
it's always worked out for me, and I'm happy with it. So we'll just
I mean, if you
ride
get
that.
back to back, man, you could take 2 great running backs and then go receivers or go run back receiver.
Last year, I had a game plan. I stuck with it, and it worked
What'd
out
you do?
well. I ain't telling you. It's
I
my
don't remember.
secret. It's
I
like
don't
my
remember.
secret recipe.
I don't
And
remember.
it got me to the ship. Who's that Kirshner guy? You know, I beat him.
And Jake Kirshner, who had the best team. All right, we're going to move on to some MLB baseball because the Yankees have been dominating.
The Yankees have not lost a game since the trade deadline. And they set a record last night. They hit 49 home runs against the same team in a season against Baltimore. So they set an MLB record for the most home runs against one, I guess, franchise in a season.
They currently have a 16-game lead on Boston and a 10-game lead on Tampa Bay. But the first thing I want to talk about the Yankees is Gary Sanchez is set to return Saturday against the Blue Jays. He's kicked off his rehab assignment on Wednesday, going 1 for 3 at AAA Scranton Wilkes-Barre.
Wait. We just went into baseball, and we didn't talk about the biggest breaking news that happened today.
What?
The Yankees and the White Sox.
Oh,
Field
yeah,
of
yeah,
Dreams,
yeah.
baby. Going to Iowa.
It's the
and
first time ever
playing
it's
in
going
the
to be
Field
in
of Dreams.
Iowa. See,
And
but I thought they did a Field in Dreams last year.
Mm-mm.
But
No.
they did, but it wasn't. It wasn't
No.
in Idaho or something like that.
No, last year they
Iowa.
played up at Williamsport at the Little League World Series. It was the Cardinals and Cubs, I think.
Is it Idaho or Iowa?
It's Iowa. But
That's going
it's
to be
cool.
sick. That whole little video they made with Judge, it looks so real.
It's going to be 8,000 seats, and that's it. It's going to be the smallest venue ever for
we
I
should
think
go.
baseball.
We
And
should go.
They're going to have a path that goes through the cornfield for the fans. That's how they come walking in through the corn, and then all of a sudden it opens up to the field. I'm excited, and it's going to be every year. They're going to have 2 new teams play there.
You want to drive there and we'll go to a game?
I wonder if that house is still there. Like in the movie, there was a house.
So I saw
I saw an overhead
like
photo.
I don't know if that was a real photo or like a diagram that they're going to build. If you want to drive there,
No, I'm not driving to Iowa.
come on, we'll drive
No.
and we'll watch it. I'm finding the best route right now. Okay, so it will only take us 15 hours and 39 minutes if we drive.
Okay, no.
I can't do that. It's too long of a drive. That's going to be awesome though. They're playing the White Sox. I would so go to that. That'd be awesome.
I'm surprised they picked the White Sox and the Yankees, though.
I'm surprised it was the Yankees and the White Sox. Like,
Yeah, I know. Like you think it would have been like.
wait, I know why. Because that's how it is in the movie. Duh.
Oh, okay. I never saw
Yeah.
the movie.
Okay, you have definitely seen Field of
I
Dreams.
don't remember that movie. I'm
If you
more.
build the field, people will come.
I've heard that if you build it, they'll come.
Dude,
Coaching.
I'm not gonna lie. When I was like little, that was freaky hearing that because like he's just standing in the cornfield. And you
My
hear that
movie's
voice.
Sandlot. That's my favorite movie of all time. Sandlot.
You know, I heard the other day if you had to pick a movie between Sandlot and Major League,
Sandlot.
that's so hard.
I mean, I like
because
Major League. Don't get me wrong, but the Sandlot, that was awesome.
If it was the first Major League and Sandlot, I think I would do Sandlot. But if it's the second one, I'm picking Major League just because when Wild Thing comes back and that guy goes crazy and they
Yeah.
play that song, oh,
That's
man,
gonna
the
be
best
one
thing.
of our polls we're gonna put up on our Facebook page. We're gonna have what's your favorite baseball movie of all times?
Mine
I
is
love
definitely
Sandlot.
Major League. Like, Major League just gets me so. Don't I like Sandlot, but Major League I like because it deals with like the MLB.
Yeah.
But Sandlot is definitely my classic.
The Yankees are already up 8-4 on Toronto.
And I think when you bring about the Yankees, you got to talk about freaking Urshela.
Yeah.
2 times
huge.
yesterday and today, he has 2 multi-home run games. Okay, he's tearing it. That's actually one of the notes I wanted to talk about was, could Andujar's future in New York be in jeopardy? Andujar is due back before the 2020 season.
I think he's trade bait. I think he's gonna be gone.
Yeah, I mean, in the case of Urshela and Andujar, much like the Greg Bird and Luke Voigt at first base this past spring, the starter should be assumed. Should be. I don't. It is like that battle. I mean,
No, DJ LeMahieu, man.
dude, we're jumping around too much.
I'm sorry. I'm just excited. I'm so excited. I mean, just look at. I mean, Urshela again tonight. 2 hits. You know, he's got 4 RBIs.
2 home runs.
4 RBIs. You know.
No, in all seriousness, no. Like Mike Trout's great, but what has Mike Trout done for the Angels? You know what I mean? Like like DJ LeMahieu has helped the Yankees become one of the best teams in baseball right now.
Dude, he's batting 337, DJ LeMahieu. Urcelo's batting 322. Yeah, May been playing, who's batting 333.
Like the Angels are 56 and 59. They're 19 games out of first place. Like, I don't think Mike Trout wins the MVP because that's also like how when Drew Brees, like 2 years ago, didn't make the playoffs and should have won the MVP, but he didn't because he didn't go to the Super Bowl. But like another thing, but I think he's MVP for the AL. Absolutely. His batting average is through the roof, and he keeps hitting home runs. And
he is the definition of an MVP.
An MVP. He doesn't have to be home runs. He's hitting home runs, though.
And he plays every position to help the team win.
And what's crazy is every position he goes to, he makes a Gold Glove play.
Dude, you know what's amazing, too? Where did Tauchman come from all of a sudden?
I know.
He's batting 294. He has another hit tonight with 2 RBIs. This guy is just like lighting it up, man.
I know. I was actually reading into the Clint Frazier drama because he posted a photo on Instagram of him sitting with his hood down and Scranton Life sign behind him. And everyone's talking about how, he's frustrated, obviously. But if you read the stats, he's had 2 errors already in left field because he's playing left field because Judge is obviously in right field.
I'm sorry.
His strikeout rate is up again, and he's struggling batting.
What he's doing is just making a bad name for himself.
It really is.
If you would put more effort into playing outfield instead of making these stupid Instagram posts and all that, he might be able to turn into a good player.
And I like Clint Frazier. He's got a great bat. He was batting 283 for us with I think 11 home runs, something like that. But what he's struggling with the outfield. He has 2 errors already.
Yeah. So what is he? He's a DH. That's what he is. He's an MLB DH, and the Yankees just took a bigger lead. It's 10-4.
The Yankees actually broke the home run record against one team with the Orioles yesterday.
Yeah, I told you that. I was talking about that earlier. They had 49 home runs against the Orioles this year.
I knew you say it.
How about Chris Davis almost knocked his coach out?
Yeah, that's funny. It's crazy. Chris Davis got 2 or 3 years left in his contract, man. He's batting 183.
No,
what do you do with that?
Someone made a joke if he swung at his coach, he wouldn't have hit him.
That's funny. He's making so much money for nothing, dude. Nothing.
But the top 2 teams right now in the AL, and the team that really scares me is Houston. Houston won 6 in a row. The Yankees are on the verge of winning 9 in a row. Haven't lost since the All-Star break. Severino actually started throwing at 90 feet.
He's excited. He's excited to come back.
He's been throwing full speed. The other day he threw a fastball, curveball, and he threw his changeup. And tomorrow he's supposed to take a step further and get on the mound and start throwing off the mound.
Now back to the whole Andujar thing. Would you trade Andujar this coming season?
Absolutely.
I think what you would do is I would let them battle it out, just like Luke Voigt and Greg Bird. And if your Urcela looks like Urcela again, and you had the depth to back him up, then you trade Andujar. Because what you do need depth, and obviously Urcela is hitting home runs right now, but Andujar has that pop off his bat. Now Urcela has the better defense though.
Well,
but he's also 28.
My thing is I shouldn't say yes, I'd trade him. My thing is he's a good trade piece. But my thing is where can we use him? Like, can he play another position besides third base?
He can't play first.
Because if we can give him and Urcela on the field at the same time,
which you can, obviously.
Yeah, if Didi's out or if you had to put him a second. But
with DJ LeMahieu now as the backup depth, we can move him around. You can sit someone down.
And we have this Valera guy that came up and who's hitting the crap out of
You still have Estrada, too. I actually have... I have, what's his face? Giancarlo Stanton update. I found one finally because we never have one.
Yeah, he's been hitting off the tee.
They don't expect outfielder Giancarlo Stanton to be back before rosters expand in September, but he has started baseball activities, according to Aaron Boone. He hit off the tee Tuesday, still doing light running on the treadmill. He's definitely moving in the right direction. He's on the IL with a sprained right knee, by the way. That's what it was.
I hope he opts out.
No, I do want Stanton to come back and be healthy because we could be a dominant team with more home runs. The only thing that sucks now is you look at Stan, okay? You have Tauchman, you have Judge, you have Hicks, you have Gardner.
And Gardner said he's coming back next year.
Yes.
Whether it's with the Yankees or not, he's playing next year.
He's a monster. He always plays great. Gives everything on that field. I love that. That's why he's one of my favorite players on the Yankees. And you also have Clint Frazier in AAA, who, let's be real, is still a great prospect for us. And you have Esteban Florio. Okay, so it's like, do I want Stanton? Yes. He can hit a lot of home runs, but he's like paper, man. He gets injured nonstop. He hasn't proved anything for me yet. So it's a tough situation. I also saw today MLB came out and said what prospects need to get up in the MLB right now. And for our team, it was Garcia. Garcia's our number one prospect.
Oh, he's gonna pitch.
And he has reached AAA this season at the age of 20 after he opened the year at high A. Can you believe that?
My thing is why not bring him up now?
Now, exactly. Why not?
Don't wait till September. Bring him up now.
So he can get hot.
We have a 10-game lead. Bring him up.
Exactly.
Get him some innings. We're going to play Baltimore. We have another series coming up with Baltimore.
They said he can even play in the bullpen.
Yeah.
That's how good he is.
Bring him up.
He's only 5'9". He's a right-hander. His electric stuff. And they're saying he doesn't even need to occupy a spot in the rotation. He's capable of being a dangerous weapon out of the bullpen with 142 strikeouts in 94 innings this year. That's lights out. You can even make him a middle reliever. You know how like CeCe can only pitch like 3 innings. Put him in for the next 4. I don't know what they're waiting for. I don't know, but I'm excited to have him up. He's our number one prospect.
All right, I'm looking at the Yankees stats right now. General batting stance. Average, team average is 272. We are third in MLB. Runs, 677. We're first. Hits, we have 1,065. We're fifth. Home runs, 203. We're second. I think we're second to Boston, if I'm not mistaken. Stolen bases, we have 43. We have a lot of power hitters, so we don't steal a lot of bases. We're 21st. OBP, .346, second. Slug percentage, .485, second. Total bases, 1,899. We're fourth. Wow. The bad side is our pitching. Our pitching, we have an ERA of 4.32, which is 11th in MLB. Runs allowed, 524, we're 10th. Saves, we have 41, which is first. Strikeouts, we have 1050, which we're 10th. OPBA, .252, overall batting average, 14th. OBP, .315, we're 9th. Slug percentage, .444, we're 19th. And run support, 5.99, we're first. That's the biggest thing right there. Our ERA is mediocre, but our run support bails our pitchers out. If we can get a healthy Severino back and get this Devi Garcia kid to come up and he looks good enough to put him in the playoff roster,
absolutely, we
could have a good team. I mean, Tanaka pitched great the other night, and then he had one bad inning and he allowed 6 runs. Hap struggles. Paxton's last 2 outings were amazing.
I just saw something crazy on Bleacher Report.
What?
Michael Franco, he got demoted to AAA.
Yeah.
That means we need to go to Iron Pigs game. Because, first of all, I predicted that the Phillies should trade Franco if he struggles. I never saw that they would send him down to AAA. I mean, he's been the Phillies starter the past 4 years.
I ain't going to Iron Pigs just to see him.
I would. Oh my God, Michael Franco, man.
He's not going to be in a good mood.
He's like, obviously he struggled. No, I have the article right here where Franco said, "For me, I just want to say I feel great. He's ready to embrace the next part of his baseball career, which has been a demotion from the Phillies to the minor leagues. Optioned Franco to Iron Pigs last Sunday in a sudden and somewhat surprising move, given the 26-year-old had been the Phillies' starting third base for the past 4 opening days." That's crazy.
Yeah, I hope to God we get Aaron Hicks back and Carcion. He has that fractured wrist. They said he's only out 10 days. Hopefully he comes back. And Luke Voigt, that's the biggest one. Luke Voigt, if he has to have surgery on that sports hernia, he's done for the year.
I know. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to do it. I don't know. Luke Voigt. I love Luke Voigt. I don't want to.
He's a stud. The Yankees, the Yankees have a great team. The pitching is going to be the thing that is going to drive us nuts. If we get to a series with Houston, that is going to be crazy, because we have good hitters, but they have a good ERA team. Our pitching's mediocre, and they have a good hitting team.
And let's be real, we can't rely on our hitting every single game. Our pitching has to.
Because look what happened when Judge went in that funk. You think about it. We don't even have our full team. We have Edwin out. We have Stanton out. We have Voigt out. We have Sanchez out. Hicks out. That's a lot of home runs.
I know. I was looking at the National League wild card, and the Phillies have the second spot, but they're tied with the Brewers. But last time we checked this, there was 11 teams that were really in the hunt. I'd say the closest is the Rockies right now. They're 7. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 teams that are in a hunt, not counting the 2 that are already in. So if you count the 2 that are in, that's 10 teams that are fighting for 2 wild card spots right now.
Yeah,
that's still insane.
You look at the American League side though. Tampa Bay, Cleveland have the spots. Cleveland's up 3 games with Tampa Bay. Oakland's only a half game back, and then it drops off.
6, yeah.
6 games with Boston, Texas with 7, 9.5 for the Angels. and then it goes way down. The White Sox 13.5. So I mean, there's still a lot of games left. There's like 40 some games left. So 7 games is really nothing. You could make it up with a couple good series, but
what's crazy is that
I just hope that Boston team keeps dropping.
the Phillies are holding off 4 teams right now. I mean, you think about Diamondbacks are 1.5 out. Everyone else, half a game out. Mets, dude, the Mets. Can we just talk about the Mets for a second? Last time I checked, they're 10-1 in their past 11 games, and they are just dominating.
Well, they won 6 in a row.
Everyone
they have great pitching.
Everyone thought that Stroman trade was shocked that they were going to trade him and they were going to trade their team. But with Pete Alonso's going off, like it's an insane thing that happened for them. Like that is such a big momentum push. Like they're half a game out from.
But offensively, they're not there yet. Offensively,
I mean, they're getting there. They're getting there.
Their pitching is what's doing it.
Yeah, obviously.
They are going to have a deadly pitching staff if they stick together next year.
They're still 8.5 out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you just have to get to that wild card. One extra game can change everything. And you look at that division. Everyone's in it except for Pittsburgh and Miami. Pittsburgh's 11 out, Miami's 16.5 out. But Colorado, they're only 7 out. 7 out. San Diego, 6.5. Cincinnati, 4. San Francisco, 3.5. Arizona, 1.5. I mean, that is you can throw a blanket over those guys. That's how close they are.
Dude, the Mets have a lot of guys that are batting well too. You have McNeil, who's batting .339 right now, which is Korea. Conforto's batting .261. I saw a different number. I was going to
They call it Tentivo yet?
Wait, what was the prediction I made? That we had a big.
You said Tim Tebow was going to get called up, and
no,
I said no way.
No, I said he has the talent to get called up as a utility guy, like once play the bench, and you said no.
No way.
I want to look up Tim Tebow's stats. See how our boy's doing.
He's probably not even playing anymore.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
But you look at man. There's a lot of L's in that area, man.
For what, the Mets?
No, I'm talking about overall. Like if you look at the
he's still in AAA. He's still in AAA.
Washington won 3, Philadelphia lost 2, Milwaukee won 3, the Mets won 6.
Oh,
St. Louis lost 5. That's not a good time to lose 5 in a row. Arizona won 2, San Francisco lost 4, Cincinnati's won 3, and then after that it's lost 1, lost 2, lost 5, lost 6. I mean, that's why it's close, man. You have teams like St. Louis is just free falling.
Tim Tebow, he's struggling in AAA.
Why no?
He's only batting 163.
He's another Michael Jordan.
98 strikeouts.
Hey, and what is he, like 30 years old?
31.
Yeah, it's time to wrap it up.
I don't know.
He should be a commentator, a football commentator.
He's really good. He'd be a really good college football commentator. That's for sure.
He should play football. All right, I gotta go back to something quick because as far as the NFL goes, I found this article by Bill Barnwell, and this guy's a writer for ESPN, and he projects teams that are either going to improve or decline, and he's been doing it for the last couple of years, and he's got a 90%.
He put the Saints on that, didn't he?
He's got a 90% accuracy on this, and he says over the past 2 years, I've identified 11 teams who underlying statistics seem to pretend decline in the calm. Okay, yeah. So the last 2 years, he has projected teams that are going to decline. And he has a 90% chance of getting it right, and he's been getting them right. So this is who he picked. He picked the Rams, who went 13-3 last year.
That they're going to decline?
They're going to decline. He said record in games decided by 7 points or fewer. They were 6-1 last year. The FPI projected strength of schedule is the 15th easiest. They have them projected for 10.5 wins.
How do you project 10.5 wins? That doesn't make sense.
It's just it's basically
I get it.
Betting and everything else with gambling. Now you can go higher or lower. Let's see, a small sample size. Okay, he doesn't have them. He doesn't have them winning more than 10 games this year. So let's see who else he has on this list. I'm scrolling down. He's got the New Orleans Saints, 13-3 last year. This year they're expected to have 11.5 wins. For gambling. They were 5-1 against scores of 7 points or fewer last year. Projected strength of schedule, 11th toughest.
We play really tough teams.
Yeah, and what he's basically saying is teams can't sustain that when you win games by less than 7 points.
Is he saying that the Saints are going to decline?
They're going to decline.
Yeah, I saw a report saying that the Saints are going to decline, but I don't know. I think Drew Brees is still in his freaking dominating.
The Cowboys are on the list at 10-6.
That they're going to decline.
Yes, this is a decline list. They have them expected to win 8.5 games this year. They were 8-2 last year of games that were won by 7 or fewer points. They have the 8th toughest schedule, which is scary right there. They're saying Dallas could easily go 8-1 this year. The only loss would be to the Saints, and then
What, the first couple weeks?
the second half of their schedule, they don't expect them to win a game.
Listen, that division's tough, man. Like the Eagles, if the Eagles stay healthy, that team's tough, man. That team is tough. Really tough. 2 good running backs, some good fast receivers.
They're just
I don't know
saying,
I don't think the Saints played the Eagles actually.
Oh, I don't know, but let's see who else is on here. Oh, they have the Chargers, 12-4. They have them projected for 10.5 wins. They were 5-1 last year. They have the 7th toughest schedule. So basically, what he's saying is that these teams that basically snuck by and won games with those records, you can't sustain that. You can't keep doing that year after year after year. They also have the Miami Dolphins on this list as declining. How do you decline from 7 to 9? They have them projected to win five games this year, and they were also 5-1 last year of games that were 7 or fewer points.
Dude, the Saints' first 4 games is Houston, Rams, Seattle, and Dallas. That is tough. And we play Chicago at Chicago. You can count that as a loss. Drew Brees never plays well in the cold. Let's be real. I mean, it's October, so maybe it won't be too cold. Maybe Jordan McRae will be playing.
I want to look at Dallas' schedule right now.
We can hit him up. Be like, hey, Jordan.
Because of what they say about Dallas. Yeah, they got the Giants, Washington, Miami, then New Orleans. Then we have Green Bay. We have New York, and then we have Philadelphia. So, yeah, I could see us easily winning all those games except for the one. Maybe we win that one. Maybe we're undefeated. Who knows? Then we have the Giants again. And then it gets hard. Minnesota, New England, Buffalo, Chicago, Los Angeles, Philadelphia, and Washington. And by the way, I'll be at that Philadelphia Eagles game. December 22nd, freezing my butt off, not wearing a piece of Dallas Cowboys clothing.
I would just wear green clothing and just.
I'm gonna have blue underwear on that day, and maybe my Cowboy socks.
I'd be like this. Okay, I'd be watching, like really pounding my face, but like no one else sees it because let's be real, there's gonna be drunk people there, and it's gonna get crazy.
The thing about this schedule though is, you have to hope that we can split with the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, you have to.
You have to bank on beating the Giants both games and Washington both games. But the problem is like Minnesota, you don't know what you're getting with that Minnesota team. The good thing is
it's always tough to play in Minnesota.
It's in Dallas.
No, you're like, there you go.
So, but they have a good defense, but you don't know what they're going to do offensively. New England, it's at New England. I mean, if you can get pressure on Tom Brady, you have a good chance to win that game. But in Foxborough, man, he's tough.
He is tough.
Then we go to Chicago, at Chicago, December 5th. Nobody wants to play in Chicago in December.
No.
And then we got the Rams, the Eagles, back-to-back. So it's going to be a tough stretch. It really is.
You know what stinks is that what I don't understand is, so the Saints' second game is at the Rams. But we played at the Rams last year. Isn't it supposed to flip every year, like when you play a team?
It's supposed to.
I don't understand. And then we play at Seattle. Seattle's always tough. As a Saints fan,
tough, but they're not as good as they used to be, especially with their defense. Their defense isn't.
But as a Saints fan, I don't recall a time that we've beaten Seattle in Seattle. Marshawn Lattimore, not Marshawn. Remember Marshawn Lynch's beast mode run that everybody shows constantly.
I'm trying to look up the Eagles schedule because I'm curious to see who they play. They open up with Washington, which is tough. I mean, you open up, especially teams like this. You open up a team that you're expected to win in your division,
and a team like that's always dangerous because you don't know how they're going to play.
And Dallas gets 2 of their division teams right away. Which imagine you lost both of them.
That's tough.
Yeah.
That's tough to come back from. And let's be real. For all you know, Washington can come out and have an elite defense.
Oh, they're going to have a good defense.
Yeah.
Their offense is going to be garbage.
But you never know. I'm saying that. For all you know, Case Keenum can look like Case Keenum from Minnesota.
And they have an offensive lineman that says, I'm not playing. I'm not even coming. He's sitting out.
I saw.
It's like, I'm done with this organization.
But could you imagine Case Keenum came out and looked like Case Keenum from 2017?
Yeah. But the Eagles have a tough schedule. I mean, they open up against Washington, which is a win. But then they go to Atlanta in the Dome.
And Atlanta could be tough this year because they're
Absolutely.
healthy. Let's be real. Matt Ryan's always a threat, too.
And Atlanta is projected to win that division. But then you have Detroit, which is a good one. Then you go to Green Bay, which you never know with Aaron Rodgers what you're getting.
And that's the same thing with the Lions, too. The Lions, you never know how they're going to play.
I mean,
It's Patricia's second year.
But my thing about the Lions is you never want to play them on Thanksgiving because that's when they play
always
their best
win.
game. That's
they
when they play
always
their best
win.
game. But they get the Packers at Green Bay. Then they play the Jets. The Jets, you don't know what you're getting with them.
Especially with Le'Veon Bell. That's a good threat they added in there.
Then they go on the road at Minnesota, and they go on the road to Dallas, and they go on the road to Buffalo. That's
tough to play in
three tough games.
Let's be real. It's tough to play in Buffalo with that cold weather.
In October. And then you have Chicago at home. They play New England at home. They play Seattle at home. That's a tough schedule, man. It really is. Yeah. Then they get Miami. They get the Giants. They got a cupcake. They get the Giants, Washington, Dallas, and the Giants again. So, let's face it. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to win that division.
I can't believe it's almost here already.
I'm excited. I can't wait. College football kicks off soon. You have Michigan in the first poll, ranked 7th. Excited.
Nice.
I'm excited.
Nice.
But how about we end with our softball? We had a great game, great season, a lot of rainouts, but it was a lot of fun. Especially
sad to see it.
Especially for me, man. I never ever shagged balls like that in a long time.
It's funny when I'm playing next to you and I see a ball hit to you and I'm running. I'm like, oh God, is he gonna catch it? Is he gonna catch it?
Hey, the thing is look, I didn't drop any balls this year. I had 3 go over my head.
I think you dropped one.
I never dropped one.
Either one went between your legs or you dropped one.
No, I never dropped one.
It wasn't like the first game you had a ball hit your glove and you just maybe it was practice. I don't know, but it dropped out of your glove.
Well, we don't talk about practice, but anyway, I made 2 nice, great catches in that one game.
What game?
That one game that we played over at the Velodrome where I ran in real far, made that catch. It wasn't a diving catch like you do unnecessarily.
Unnecessarily?
Nice
I don't do it unnecessarily.
And then I made that nice running catch where I ran out, put my glove up, and caught it. But you know what? For being 45 and not playing and fielding balls in forever, I thought I did very well. Like I said, I haven't dropped any balls.
You hit pretty well, too.
Yeah. I only had one bad game as far as hitting went.
The Shot Avenue game.
And I went 1 for 3? But other than that, I feel like I had a great year. I would have put myself in the nomination for the MVP.
You said you would put you in? I think you could put both of us in there.
I
think we were both game changers, but it's a team sport. There's no I in team there. It's all down over there.
But, my coaching mind was going on, too, what needs to be changed, but I'm not the coach, so.
Those long car rides home.
Yeah. We'll let the coaches deal with that and figure out what they have to fix, but, it was a great game, and
it was fun.
And our playoff game went extra innings, and
that was a crazy game. First of all, because it was so relaxing the whole season. That playoff game got real serious, real quick.
Yeah, what did we go? 11 innings, 11 innings.
I think we went 11 innings. Yep,
11 innings in a softball game. We lost by 1, but it was fun.
Almost gunned that guy out at home to end the game. That would have been nice.
Yeah, unnecessary cut.
We won't talk about it.
But we had a blast, and I'm looking forward to doing it again. It was a lot of fun. Made a lot of new friends. A lot of them that listen to the podcast, which is cool.
Mike, if you're listening, man, we had a blast with you. Okay.
Yeah, but we have fantasy football coming up. I put a poll up about who will you take with the first pick overall, quarterback or running back on receiving. Put it on Facebook, see how active you are on our own page. But
where'd you put that up at? When did you do that?
Like almost a week ago.
Oh, so that was a week ago.
No, but anyway,
I constantly get the notifications.
Most people want to draft either a running back or a wide receiver with the first pick over in the first round. So
let me ask you this question: did anybody answer it?
Yeah.
How many?
I don't know how many, but the one was up to 83%, and the other one for quarterback was like 10%.
What was the 83%?
83% of the people that did the poll would take a running back or a receiver with their first pick in the fantasy draft.
All right.
But everyone's better pay attention now. Who's going to take Zeke Elliott?
I'm not, because I took Le'Veon Bell last year.
Who took Le'Veon Bell last year?
And that freaking was terrible. I didn't get one game out of him.
Yeah, that's horrible.
That was my first. That's what made me lose. I lose bad because of that.
Who is going to fold and take Ezekiel Elliott in the first round?
I'm not going to do it. Because
someone's going to.
Someone will.
Someone's going to.
Someone will, but I'm not doing it.
And we'll see. I can't wait. That draft's coming up soon. We do have a couple guests we're working on. One is still out of the country. Actually, both of them are out of the country. One's in Mexico, and I think the other one's in Australia, maybe.
I don't know where she's at, but it'd be cool to get either one of them on. But we're in contact with them, and we're in contact with their people. It's just hard to reach them right now because they're out of the country.
The thing about the podcast is everyone wants to come on. They all say, yeah, they want to do it, but then trying to find the perfect time for them to come on.
Because
even
like
for Jarvis, we played phone tag for freaking weeks.
Because even for us to get on here is sometimes frustrating. Because either we have work early in the morning, or it's late and we have something to do. It's tough. It's not easy. I mean, if this was our full-time job, it's different. But like to schedule time in for this, it's tough. But
Yeah.
we make it work at least once a week. We have to get one at least.
Yeah,
in.
we're shooting for one, hopefully two, maybe even more.
Tuesday,
We'll
yeah.
see as we get going. But like I said, we are working on it, and we'll see what we can do. Basically, we're at the mercy of them. They have to come on. We're already on, so.
All right, guys. Well, we hope you enjoyed this podcast. Again, this is Everything Goes with
Football
TK.
season, yes, yes.
Who that say they're gonna beat them Saints?
Dallas say.
Dallas has to come to that dome. Okay, guys, we enjoyed your time listening to us. We hope you're still listening at this point. And we will see you guys next time on the podcast. Don't forget to check out all of our platforms: Spotify, iTunes, Google Music,
Get those
Facebook,
likes
Twitter.
up, guys. Spread the word. Get people to come on and listen to our rambling.
Maybe sooner or later we'll get a logo and get some merch going. But I'd love to get a hoodie or a hat. But we hope you guys enjoy this podcast and join the next one. Have a good one.